Islam. And we have a speaker here today who deals with comparative literature and has delved in depth with Kazi Nazrul Islam. His name is Dr. Qazi Nazrul Uddin, who also studied in the University of Dhaka, received his PhD from the State University of New York in English literature within the discipline of comparative literature. As an educator, he was cited by the Los Angeles Times for his outstanding contributions promoting understanding through the medium of language and cultural education. He has worked tirelessly to promote awareness of Kazi Nazrul Islam and Bangladeshi culture. Today, he's going to talk to you about Kazi Nazrul Islam and Bangladeshi culture. Dr.
Thank you, Ms. Herman. I'm really delighted to be here today, but at the same time, overwhelmed by emotion and sentiment. It's a good opportunity to share my, sentiments or whatever I feel at this moment to share with everybody. And if I do something promoting Bengali literature and culture, the credit goes to Mr. Hassan, Jahan, who is the editor of a newspaper here, where I got an opportunity to frequently express my views, and also Toronto of California gave me an opportunity to work for establishing Nazrul endowment. It is believed that achieving universality is the most cherished objective of a poet. Most major poets of this world aspired to become universal poets. Some of them were successful, many were not. However, no one thinks that to become a universal poet, one has to be a universal human being, implying that one must be able to address the entire human race and be in all places, in all times, with an in-depth knowledge and understanding of different cultures, customs, and traditions. Universality in literary arts can be achieved by confining oneself to his or her locality, to his or her own country. It is therefore no wonder that a famous romantic poet like John Keats understands, quote, the great beauty of poetry is that it makes everything, every place interesting. As he writes to his brother George in 1819, when a poet can express his or her interest for everything and every place on earth, only then he or she can become a universal poet. Interestingly, a poet of Bengal named Kazi Nazrul Islam was also able to realize this. In 1929, in a reception arranged in his honor at Albert Hall in Calcutta, he referred to John Keats by quoting his famous, "Beauty is truth, truth beauty." We have therefore valid reason to believe that Nazrul was profoundly inspired by Keats' such realization that beauty is truth, truth beauty. Obviously, this realization makes a poet of all human beings, a universal poet. When Nazrul first appeared in the literary scene of Bengal, Bengal was then a part of Indian subcontinent. Bengal was later divided into East and West Bengal by the British administrators. After Indian independence in 1947, West Bengal became a part of India and East Bengal became East Pakistan. Subsequently, East Pakistan became Bangladesh after a brutal independence struggle with West Pakistan. Unlike the rest of the subcontinent, the so-called province of Bengal was fortunate enough to come in close contact with Western education and culture, in addition to its rich heritage of ancient Indian civilization and culture. This assimilation of modern Europe and ancient Eastern civilization was possible because the city of Calcutta in Bengal was the first seat of British administration in India. Here in Calcutta, Rabindranath Tagore, the first Asian to win a Nobel Prize in literature, was born. After this award of a Nobel Prize to the unknown literature of the East, known locally as Bangla, came to the attention of the Western world. Unfortunately, the British could not pronounce the word Bangla, so they changed it into Bengali. Before that, no one paid any attention to Bengali literature, although it had a 1,500 years old written history and had more speakers than French language. Bengali literature started in 8th century AD when Buddhist mystic songs, its various expressions were found in such writing as Sri Krishna Kirtan, Vaishnava Padavali, Mongol Kabbo, Mahakabbo, and Puthi Sahitya until the end of the 18th century. However, everything was in verse. Prose writing came along with the missionaries when they established the Department of Bengali at Fort William College in Calcutta. The missionaries wanted to translate the Bible into Bengali language. Unable to find a literary prose style of writing in Bengali, William Carey, the head of the Department of Bengali, employed some local pundits such as Ram Bosu and Mrityunjay Vidyalankar to develop a literary prose in Bengali. Thus, prose came into Bengali literature, and consequently, a flood of new literary genres such as lyrics, short stories, novel, and modern drama inundated the field of Bengali literature. Rabindranath Tagore won the Nobel Prize for his devotional lyric Gitanjali in 1913. He was indeed responsible for introducing lyrics in Bengali literature. Although he was a versatile genius and contributed to all major literary genres, he never expressed his willingness to become a universal poet. However, he was fully aware of what universality in literature entails and expressed this in one of his lyrics as such. This is my translation of a Bengali poem by Tagore into English, and I did it in the literary prose English. My poems, I know, although traveled in various directions, were not able to go everywhere. A person who shares a life with a farmer, who is able to establish a relationship between his work and his day, who is near the ground, I am eagerly waiting for the message of that poet. And Bengali, for my Bengali listener, Amar Kobita, জানি আমি গেল বিচিত্র পথে হয় নাই সে সর্বত্রগামী কৃষ্ণের জীবনের শরীর যেজন কর্মেও কথায় সত্য আত্মীয়তা করেছে অর্জন যে আছে মাটির কাছাকাছি সে কবির বাণী লাগি কান পেতে আছে. That's Tagore said about Nazrul. Now when Tagore wrote this, no one thought that he was referring to Kazi Nazrul Islam, who suddenly appeared in the sky of Bengal like a comet. Literally, his writing started appearing in a bi-weekly magazine named Dhumketu, which translates into comet in English. He almost immediately found a place for himself in the literary circle of Bengal. Later, Tagore humbly admitted that he was not able to attend university and therefore expecting a poet to appear in Bengal who will be universal poet.